Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have another PCM test. As you see, I got everything connected. I'm actually running the test right now. This is a 2008 Toyota Highlander 3.5 V6 sent to me by Jack right here in Arlington, Virginia. Just going to keep it like that so he will know this is his car, but nobody else. Yeah, he's Arlington, Virginia. Um, so he took this car to someone, a mechanic or something. They replaced I hope I get the complete story correct, but they replaced a catalytic converter. This car has been sitting for a very long time. It only has 100,000 miles. And for some reason, the catalytic converter got bad and they replaced it. And then after the replacement of the catalytic converter, the car didn't want to start. So, as you all will assume, if you have some mechanical background, I will say probably somebody tried to weld a catalytic converter with the sensors are still connected, and probably the car was not completely asleep. And then it kind of like tried to cook the computer. That's all I can think of. So I said, you took the car to the dealer or to someone to get it diagnosed, and they say yes, we took it actually to the dealer. But the dealer took the dash apart, and they said that they needed to replace the ECM and the key box. I'm like, I'm not that familiar with the key box terminology because I mean it's immobilizer or the ignition switch, right? But I will show you everything as we go along with the video. I said, send me the ECM and send me some of the information, and I will try to put this together as a puzzle, right? Because it's not really a common thing for this car to have this problem, right? So I will start later on the video with, as I normally do, connecting it back to the car and everything. I just want to show you for Jack and well for you guys too the VIN number right there. So I had that VIN number in a piece of paper they gave me. Let me see what I did with it. That's right here. So not sure that I have no of their information in here, but they were kind enough to send me all this. So the last digit is should be two. Let me see, 203-7876. 203-7876. So that's a perfect VIN number. And you said, well, you can enter it manually. And yes, I can. But not the case in here. And I have pictures of that. And I will show you again when I connect or reconnect again. One test that I've been doing, as I have also, because I was about to not condemn a computer and to call it as good. And then I started realizing that it was some glitches that were actually cutting the communication off. In other case, I probably have this computer connected for probably over 20 minutes already. So I'm going to do the same thing. I only have the battery voltage pit on in a graph mode so I can see if it's any glitches. And that's why it's really important to either have a scanner or an oscilloscope. The oscilloscope will have a super faster refresh rate to pick more than this, right? But this is good enough. So I'm going to raise the voltage and we can see that coming up, right? 14.2. And then I'm going to come down to like, 13.6 or so, down into 13.2. So the scanner, again, is connected via Bluetooth to the BCI, and then we are getting the signals because we have communication. I have, as I always do too, I have the 5-word reference in here so I can see the computer talking. One other thing that I have put in here, and I have to check because the way this is, the computer should crank, it should have plenty of communication. I don't have the complete history of what exactly the dealer told them, and I'm going to probably have to call them and get more information. I have what they call the key box. Another thing that I want to show you here, as I always do, I have CAN bus, CAN high, CAN low. I did a channel, a math channel, A minus B, and I decode the communication lines to see which one is having any problems, if any. As you see, I have the ECM. Now we have the pit for the ECM and then the pits for the tap done. I'm going to open the folder right here so you can see the template. I put just these two here because I'm starting to gather this information for me. Remember, this is just an error because every time you close this, it's going to put that column or yeah in here as a scientific, and you have to check it out, change it as this. And this should read 7E8 7E08. I'm not going to change it because I already have it, but yeah, the line in there should say 7E08, just like that, right? So, and the one on the bottom should say 7E00. Yeah, 7E00. If you don't change it to text, you see, I didn't change the next one and I left it as scientific, and then as that's why I changed it back to that, like a scientific calculator, right? So in text, we're gonna put that, and when I'm going to put, 7E00, and now since I changed it to text, it will read properly. See what I mean? So yes, I'm just trying to show you that, and these are the IDs. Top downs are very repetitive. I can see this from the other vehicles that I'm using. And now, I mean, obviously the 2C1 is different from the ones and four, but the rest, like T0, TE08, TE00, and so are actually repetitive. So I'm starting to see a pattern on those codes that I used to, um, let me just cancel and just click in here for just the sake of the video. But I can see a pattern on the IDs being repetitive, at least on the top down. So I think that at the end of the year or so, I will have a very good information for myself and for you guys that are following the channel alone, and so we can use to, um, get those errors. Because, if I stop this right now, and I'm okay, this is an error, right? See right here, we got an error. Okay, is that an error because top down again? By this, we have a network of two computers, the engine computer and the scanner, which at the end is a communicating computer. It's a scanner, it's a diagnostic scanner, but for here is another computer, right? So the good thing about Picoscope is if I click in here, it will open and show me exactly where that error happens. And we can see, because this is the nice thing about that, I can move this here. Remember the cross that I was telling, I can put this on the bottom, and now I can see that the error, that error that we see here, is right at the end of the screen. So it was a message that got cut in half, and that's why the computer just think it's an error, but it's not an error. And why is top done? Because we can see the ID here, 7E8. So the 7E80, remember, or 08, is actually that ID that is top done. So yes, it's exactly, and this will be the same thing that you can use if you're in a vehicle and you have the code of this and you start seeing errors, repetitive errors. It's still not enough to flag, a fault, or only happens when the car is driving for 300 miles. But now you are able to use this to pinpoint an intermittent, and that's exactly what I'm also been doing this in the shop with our techs and everything, to start trying to help customers with very intermittent cases that otherwise are really hard or sometimes impossible to reproduce and to catch, right? But again, that's another information. All right, going into what Toyota give them is a new ECM, a used ECM, which I don't know how they're going to put a used ECM in the shop, but I mean, it can be done definitely. And then miscellaneous electrical system repairs, new key box. And that's the part number that we have in there. So that is the key box A9780488080. All right, so um, just for the sake of the video, I'm going to stop the communication. So I'm going to get out of here because I want to prove for the customer, for those that are following on the channel, that indeed this is self communicating. So I'm out completely. I'm going to turn off the computer. We'll see you now. I'm going to stop the communication or reestablish communication because sorry, the picoscope was off. Like because I was doing analysis with you guys, so we got no fiber reference, so you can see that that is indeed connected to the computer. Right, as soon as I power this on, firewall reference, immediately communication or immediate communication in there. I'm not sure why it's still showing the top down. Yeah, it's showing like it's still communicating with this with the scanner. That cache have wrong ID. Let's stop this 1 second and see what ID is this. ID 38A. Let me open that folder. Close it. Yeah, 38A. It might not be. So 38A, because it should not have communication. So let me do one thing. I'm going to turn the scanner off. So now the scanner is off. Let's rerun this. Because you see I might have name wrongly, or it might be just that. Hmm. Let me stop 1 second to fix these names that I put in there as I've done, because those might be a computer and not the actual top done. All right, guys, I changed the folder because I had some errors. I thought it was some IDs and all IDs just from the top down. So I corrected. Let me just give you the correct list in there. But yeah, so 2C4, and then which is, let me restart the communication to make sure that we got no top down. Right now, what I did is I completely disconnected the BCI, because when the BCI is there, it's trying to establish communication, especially after just turning the scanner off. The computer is still in the mode to communicate with the scanner. So, but right now we know that, I mean, nothing else is connected, right? So it's just the computer. And this is what I did. So what I did is just stab the capture like I am doing right now. So everything on the right side says ECM because nothing else is connected. So I have, what you can do is if it's anything else, you can just click on the ID and the arrow on the next, and it will show you if it's any order IDs. Like the only order IDs that are here are 00000. That's it. So that means absolutely nothing else. So, and I changed the mistakes that I made. So, all right. So let me plug the at least. Well, let me see if I can do this with one hand. It's gonna be a little hard. Now let me just reconnect this. I reconnected the BCI. Let me establish or run the oscilloscope, because I can immediately see one thing. When I unplug the BCI, this went to use it like completely open because I'm 20 milliseconds per division, so we got like 200 milliseconds per screen. If I zoom in, we will see that completely normal. Like, and let me just change this the capture to go to a faster sample mode. Oop, that's actually too much. So let's go into microseconds, right? I clicked too fast, but you can see, everything is in there. So let's go back to the 200 milliseconds per division or 50 milliseconds. I don't know what's going on. It's a little bit of a glitch on Pico lately. Now it's in seconds per division. I never went that fast or that slow. Now we're in 20 milliseconds per division, and we can see that we're not capturing anything. Yeah, something happened with Picoscope. I don't know why it's doing that lately. I thought it was my touch screen, but I'm starting to believe that that's not the case. You see, it's not showing anything on the screen, and we know that we got communication, so I'm gonna have to reestablish this because this is a glitch on Picoscope 7. I got it back and running, so all I did was just remove the triggers and remove any filters that we were applying or I was applying to it. But yeah, so we'll still have the ECM in here, nothing else. The VCI is connected. Obviously, the computer is on. Let's turn the scanner back on because I did turn it off to prove or to show those. Let me move it here. We already saw the firewall reference in here, so It's still there, not a problem. So I'm going to move this and put the scanner right here. All right, so we have the scanner right there. We're going to, you'll see this difference on when it's nobody talking. It's just like, hey, somebody there, somebody there. The computer's trying to talk to somebody, right? Because it's not normal for the computer to be by itself. But we're going to do an auto scan. As soon as the scanner really reads them, you see the difference on the communication. So it's trying to establish communication and then read the VIN. And that is again the VIN of the vehicle and Toyota Highlander, all is good. So we read the VIN and it went back to like no communication because we're still not in diagnosis mode. So we have to select the quick access or whatever you are doing in your scanner, right? We can set the area, which I already did. If you are using a top down, you can set the area and just use North America. All right, so we can see now established communication to make sure there is communication. So we're starting to see different things. The communication is definitely different, but it will go back to nothing on it. And you will see that in a second. Okay, without a smart key. I don't have a smart key here, so I don't think it has one. But you see, now we have the same. I'm going to lower those, maybe just the white one, which is kind of high, kind of low, so we can have it on the screen, right? It's a little hard for me to the angle. But yeah, as you can see right now, it's in communication mode because we're almost here. We're almost there where you are looking for to establish communication. So we're going to select ECM, ECT, communication transmission and engine module. Even though they are on the same one, Toyota calls it still ECM. Okay, we're going to read data stream and we're going to select what we were having before, which is just the battery voltage, and then that's it, right? So, and then do the graph. So this is exactly where we were. So now you can see, and they can see that this is indeed their computer having communication. The next step that I want to show, let me make sure, yeah, 7E8 is not being read as the scanner. 7E0. The rest are working good, but not those. So, but I can do those myself. And we know the 7E8 and 7E0 are the top done. I just wanted to change it. So we have the 7E8 and the 7E0. I just change it in there as those. I just open the template, select the template that I have, and now everything should say top down. And it does. That's all you need to do. Just click on that, kind of like a change link in there where you can open and create a template, and that's where you can do your changes. All right, so wiring diagrams, because I forgot to show this in connections. All right, I do as always my homework, and I mark as you will see. So this is covered by the actual computer case in here, which I also mark, and you will see that in the picture. I mark it so I can know that I can, safely do all my connections without damaging or harming a computer. I want to make sure that I'm not going to be the one burning it, right? But so as you can see, that is my image. Those are my markings. And all these letters, I just put, with like paint or, edit in the picture. So those are actually not on the computer itself. As you can see, those are not here, but the rest is all mine. And I use also the regional information for Toyota that also proof me all the separations and everything as they are. I check, make sure the powers were there, the grounds were there, and all correct. I have also the pinouts from ProDemand. They were all perfect, and also the connector numbers. So kudos to them. I have again also in here the wire diagram. I'm going to scroll all the way down, and then we can see computer data lines for CAN high, CAN low. This is the next thing that I want to share or check, the immobilizer. This is the way this computer is. This car sure crank. I will have to really see the actual um, anti-theft immobilizer setup on this one. The description. I'm not that familiar with the Highlander to see if the immobilizer removes the cranking, or it just kills the injectors, which is mostly what all the immobilizers do in all the cars. It kills the injector, so it's no gas, but you can hear the car cranking. But might be Toyota does no cranking either. So I have to really visit that information. But again, I mark all the grounds. It's all the E's and ME01 or so. Those are grounds, and you will see in a second. I am following along just in here. So we got E02, E01. Those are grounds. BC is voltage supply for 5-volt reference. E2, this one in here, this E2. You see how it says E0s are all main grounds. When you have an E2, that's a sensor ground. That's just in Toyotas. All right, so follow along the color wire diagram. Again, just one a little fast, but I'm trying to save already over 20-minute long video. And this is the last. So we have in here more main grounds. Again, E zeros are all main grounds, and then ME zeros are also main grounds. And I will show you that in the original diagram. So we got the ignition switch. This is a battery power when ignition or on the start is there. So this is an ignition power. We got a plus BM, which as you can see, if we follow this, it says ETCS fuse had all the times. We have then battery, which is a constant through a 10 amp fuse, and then so pins 2, 3, and 7 are battery power, and then ignition on 9. And I checked that all with the original. This is a schematics. We have also, yeah, I thought I have, oh yeah, right here, the original diagrams. So this is the original diagrams, and Toyota, I don't know what they do, but so since we have connectors B1, B2, B3, they name those A, B, C, and then the D35, they want to name it D, and then the D36 E. So that's why also you see not on any of the markings that have here, but if we go over the picture that I have open, I put this A, B, C, E, D because D36 is here. So A, B, C, E, D. Toyota is weird, right? But I mean, that's what they wanted to do. I don't know why they couldn't just now go A, B, C, D, E, right? So, but that's the way they did it. All right. I guess they went from numbers because 36 is greater than 35, but position wise, that would make more sense for me. But again, that's just my call. And this is how I gather all this information. Sometimes people don't understand working in multiple or in all computers is very, very time consuming. Trying to help others, and then sometimes people is like, "Oh, why are you charging me for that?" I'm like, "Because this is not first, there is no schematic for internals on the computer, so this is not like I can go and get the information and fix your computer. Secondly, I don't have the original connector for all the computers in the world, so I have to do all this connection. It's very time consuming. And then I'm trying to help people like these ones, they condemn a good working computer. I still have to check the immobilizer part and the key and see if I can make this computer run. But otherwise, this will be a test for them to be also to know if the computer is good or not, and then fix the truck or what the problem is. So I'm going to stop the video. This is going to be part one, and then I will move on into now the immobilizer area. So I don't make this humongously long video, and then we can gather some of your comments. If you're watching the video, please, and you are familiar with Toyotas and everything, start getting a comment. I would like to see what your thoughts are, what this could be from why is it not start no not running. They couldn't uh, perform the key relearn, which I mean, even with the IMO 608, I know I can do it, and I can do a master key for Toyota. So I don't understand why they couldn't in the car, and why the dealer recommended the computer, the emo box, and a new key. I mean, this is like a just part changer. It sounds to me, but again, it's a little too soon to know. So again, give me your comments. Let me know what you think, and wait for part two. Talk to you later. Bye bye.